We got Philosophistry from the USA. Philosophistry. You guys are great with the names tonight. You're live on Truth Wanted. What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and say that I believe that society has flourished in spite of religion.
Okay. Yeah, interesting claim. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, I think that's the case because it seems to me like religion causes a lot of division amongst people groups. And because of that, you know, a lot of wars have been fought. There's been a lot of fighting and stuff like that. And I think that religion is probably responsible for more slaughter, killing, and torture than it has than it would be responsible for healing. So
interesting. Okay.
Some claims from some folks who like to say things like, well, without Christians, you wouldn't have hospitals, except history tells us that hospitals were around, like in Sri Lanka, before they were around in the Roman Empire. So that tells me that hospitals are despite religion, not because of it.
Yeah, or I agree with you there. Organized like care communities like probably exist in some form or another, regardless of the religious system, and definitely even without it, for sure.
I've been told that exact argument before too. That's so funny you said that. Yeah, we wouldn't have hospitals if it wasn't for Jesus.
Yeah, I think we're broadly in
I've been told that recently.
I don't know if I've ever been told that specifically, but I see the reasoning, right? I guess almost like the prior caller saying, look, if atheists don't have a real morality, if it's all just our feelings, which I think is a little more complicated than that, but definitely that's part of it, then, you know, how can we have organized institutions for care, right? Like, I don't know, because we want to, I guess.
It's funny too, because isn't their whole belief based off feelings anyways? It's just they feel this thing, they feel that thing, and
there's a lot of reasons there. Philosophistry, what were you saying there?
Oh, I said, yeah, like, why isn't empathy good enough? Like, oh man, I just watched you fall from that tree and now your leg's a funny angle. Are you okay? You know, like why isn't that good enough of a reason to want to help somebody?
Yeah. Well, even empathy, I mean, like, you can still, again, there's a rule of law for a reason, right? Like we do try to separate that in our society somewhat. Like, I want a judge to be able to make decisions based on what's precedent in the law and not just, well, I kind of just don't like this guy. You know what I mean? Like, that is a more fair system in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have any reason, any way that you would disagree? Do you feel that that religion has caused improvements in society at all?
If I were to put my devil's advocate hat on, I guess the best argument that I could make is religion provides a sense of community and a sense of identity for people, which both and security, both which can be positive influences in somebody's life. If I knew of, the stereotype, right, is like some grandmother who, goes to a church and the people in their church are their best friends, and they get a lot of their mental health care from talking to the folks around them and people who pray for them and really feels like that they're doing something in their lives. You know, they're impacting that person in a very positive way. Unfortunately, the basis of that, I think, is, not real, but that doesn't negate the fact that that person's health can benefit from being in a community like that. So yeah, there's definitely benefits to be had. It's more of a question of, does it outweigh the costs? And like, broadly speaking, no. Like, I just don't think that's the case. If I had to choose whether somebody were to believe in a delusion or not, I'm going to say not, like pretty much almost all the time. If that grandmother in that example could get access to those same kinds of care and needs in a secular way, I would choose that every time. The problem is, I can't just say, hey, grandma, stop going to church and go hang out somewhere else. Like, that's just not a good way to leave that, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. If I were to put my devil's advocate hat on, I would say that I think that that religions becoming popular allowed also some consolidation of communities. And so it may have, and this is not a confirmed thing, but it may have helped a society scale.
Yeah.
So that like intra-societal conflict was reduced, potentially. I don't know that for sure, but like in my head, that kind of like makes sense, you know? Would you disagree with that?
Yeah, that's
everybody's
interesting.
believing the same thing. I mean, yeah, then the society is probably going to get along if everybody loves Jesus, you know. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if
you have the rise of Islam was
having like a single church group around individuals, right? That's one thing.
Yeah.
But being able to go, like, for instance, from Greece over to Italy and know that they roughly believe the same thing, that's a different type of scaling to me. Maybe it's not to you, but that is to me.
Yeah, I think it's just like a wider organization and implementation of rules. Like I was going to make the point that like Islam is quite notorious for its conquests in its early years, and apologists have made the sometimes correct assertion that look, under these states and societies that Islam ruled under, there are benefits that were to be had. Yeah, I'm sure there were benefits to be had under the Nazi regime maybe as well. I don't want Nazis ruling over me. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we can point at some good stuff maybe along the way that comes with it, but is the overall process a good thing? That's really what I land my hat on at the end of the day. And I have to say, no, I think we probably all agree with this here, but like, yeah, religious institutions are not a good way for one governing society and implementing policies in ways that are going to healthily affect everyone, because there's always going to be folks like us that aren't going to believe, and we have to be in society as well. So here you go, my take.
Fair. Michael, I don't know if I cut you off. If I did, I do apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. No, it just brings you back to, I do talk to a lot of guests who have lost loved ones, and their religion for them is that coping, that crutch. But I mean, it's tough because when you take away that crutch, they have to deal with the reality of the loss, because to them, they're just going to see their kid or their grandma or their mom or somewhere else. But in reality, there's no heaven, there's no afterwards. So I don't know. Are they able to really heal properly? You know, are they able to get past that? Because they're stuck in, I'm going to see them again, Ville. So
yeah,
is it beneficial, or is it really just harming them in the long run? Is it just a short-term game or what? You know, I don't know. I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist or a doctor or anything. So I leave that for the smarter people.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Philosophistry. I'm going to let you, I don't normally do this, but I'll let you have the last word here. Is there anything you want to say before I let you go?
There is nothing that I want to say other than thank you for taking my call, and I hope you gentlemen have a wonderful night and weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.